So if you have already finished your exercise 6, let's check your answers, okay? Number 1, when Dan and Kate, let me check this. Let me move the screen. When Dan and Kate were fishing, the weather was brilliant. True or false? Check your answers. False, okay? Dan was the first person to see that there was a problem with the boat. False. The boat sank before Dan and Kate could jump into the water. False. A helicopter saw Dan and Kate in the sea, but it couldn't rescue them. False. When Dan and Kate reached land, they couldn't get out of the water at first. True. There was nobody on the beach when Dan and Kate got out of the sea. True. The captain swam to the beach a few hours after Dan and Kate. True. Okay? Now, we have a learned box and it says extreme adjectives. As you can see, we're still checking the adjectives. Remember that we have already reviewed the adjectives since in the last lesson from Model 1 and Model 2. We checked some adjectives in the Unit 1 from this red book, and we still continue checking adjectives in this unit, okay? So pay attention to them, please. It's very important. So it says extreme adjectives. Some adjectives are extreme equivalents of simpler adjectives. Example, delicious, very tasty. Disgusting, very unpleasant. Fantastic, very good. Filthy, very dirty. Starving, very hungry. And tiny, very small. Okay? For example, most of the times we used to we use these adjectives like hungry, small, good. And in less occasions, we use fantastic, starving, disgusting, filthy. Okay, so in this occasion, I want you to take especially attention in those adjectives that are less common for you. Okay, in that way, you could learn them easier. Okay, so, and we have B. Very common adjectives often have more than one extreme equivalent. Example, enormous, massive, gigantic, giant, immense. It's something like if you say very big. Okay, so let's check our next exercise. And it says, read and learn this box and complete it with the adjectives below. Okay, we have already completed that. Okay, small, good, hungry, and dirty. We have already completed the box with those adjectives. Vocabulary. Match the extreme adjectives highlighted in the text with the simpler adjectives below. You have the highlighted adjectives in color blue in the text, okay? So you have to write here the extreme adjective. So let's check. For example, you have stunning, brilliant, huge, awful, terrifying, astonishing, tragic, and exhausted. I want you to write these adjectives here in the correct space. So let's check. Take a few minutes to answer this exercise and then you can check your answers. Very bad, awful, very good, brilliant, very beautiful, stunning, very big, huge, very surprising, astonishing, very sad, tragic, very frightening, terrifying, and very tired, exhausted. Okay? Now it says, from exercise 9, it says, explain this sentence from the text in your own words. Try to include 2 extreme adjectives from the Learn This box, but in your own explanation. And you have an example there. Dan said later that it was the worst and the best food of his life. So you have to explain these sentences, but with your own words, and you have to use the adjectives, the extreme adjectives that you have in exercise 8, right? Possible answers, okay? You can have another answer, but this is a possible answer. It was the worst food because the bananas were green, unripe, and disgusting. It was the best food because he was starving, okay? Remember that starving means that you are very, very hungry, okay? Let's continue with the next exercise. And it says, in exercise 10, we have a speaking practice. We can't work in pairs now, but maybe if you have a brother or sister at home, you can work with him or with her, maybe with your brother, with your sister, with your mother or father, or you can do it by your own, don't worry. You are going to prepare an interview with Dan or Kate, okay? Student, you're going to make an interview with two persons, student A and student B, but you're going to do this alone. You are an interviewer, write 6 questions using the prompts below and your own ideas. Student B, you are Dan or Kate, prepare your answers to student A questions. Use as much information from the text as you can. And you have 6 different questions here, so you can prepare your interview with these examples for questions, right? For example, what was the weather like that day? Remember that your questions must be in the past simple or in past continuous, okay? What were you doing in that moment? Okay, what happened to the boat? Okay, here we have some examples, and you are going to imagine that you work with a pair, so you have to write the questions and you have to write the answers. Okay, like if you can imagine if you were the person that are being interviewed with. Number 1, what was the weather like that day? What were you doing? What happened to the boat? Why did you start swimming? How did you feel? How did you reach safety? So, as you can see, all of the questions are in past simple and past continuous, like number 2. Okay, so as you have already done your questions, remember that you have to answer the same questions that you did for the interview, okay? So that's all for today. And like a closer activity, please, I want you to copy these questions in your notebooks or in a piece of paper, and I want you to paste these questions in the page 25 of your student's book, okay? And you have to circle the correct answers. For example, which verb is followed by the suffix at ion to make a noun? Attempt, complete, or experience. For example, attention, completion, experience. Complete, okay? Which verb is the same as the noun? Dream, relax, or live. This is very useful to learn these adjectives and to make them nouns. Dream. Which verb is followed by the suffix meant to make a noun? Achieve. Which verb is followed by the suffix ure to make a noun? Fail. Okay. Which verb is followed by the suffix meant to make a noun? Entertainment. Okay. Which verb is followed by the suffix ure to make a noun? Pleasure. Which verb is followed by the suffix ion to make a noun? Preparation. Which verb is the same as the noun? Experience. Okay, so I want you to copy all of this in a piece of paper and paste it in page 25. Okay, and for homework, please, I want you to answer a lesson. Let me check. 2F, okay? 2F. Lesson 2F, just 2F from their workbook, okay? And that's all for today. Remember, tomorrow we are not going to have classes, so we are going to see you until Monday. Have a nice weekend and see you on Monday.